legs wide. We'll start by rolling out our shoulders, and then when you're ready, taking the hips side to side. Nice and big rolls. And then other direction when you're ready. Good. And big arm circles. Keeping the shoulders down, away from the ears. Core is tight. The weight is in your heels. Now let's circle it the other way. Five more. Two more. Now bring the hands all the way up. We'll start circling out those wrists. Bringing it all the way back down. And then all the way back up. Circling the wrists the other way. Every time you lower or lift. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Tailbone tucked under. Good. Let's do a few more. Really warming up those wrists. Good. And we'll do one more all the way down and all the way back up. Excellent. From here, we'll take it center, bring it down and up. Turning out at the hips, knees and toes, turning out to the side, pushing through the glutes to open your knees, and leaning back, tucking those pelvis, or the pelvis under, so you can lean your shoulders back. Core tight. 3 more. 2. Last one. We're gonna bring it down and pulse the hips. 10, 9, reaching the arms away. 5, 4, 3, 2, elbows to the knees. From here, pushing the knees into the elbows and vice versa. You're gonna try to close your knees against your elbows. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the squeezing. Let's press into one side. Turn it over. Breathing deep. Switch sides. Bring it center. And we're going to drop our head, lift our hips, grab the ankles. Shake your head like you're saying no, and nod like you're saying yes. From here, we're going to walk it over to one leg. Stretching it out, pull yourself in with both hands. Other side, pulling it in with both hands. From here, we're going to come back to center one more time. Shaking your head no. Nodding your head yes. And then we're all going to walk ourselves towards our left foot so that when I say left and right, it all makes sense. Or have the left foot forward. Knee directly over the ankle. We're going to come into some dynamic movement. So hands are on either side of your foot. You're going to push into your front foot, flexing your heel to shoot back into a, we're going to call it a modified triangle because your legs are rather wide. They wouldn't be this big in a triangle. And then we're going to come back into that lunge, back into our triangle. Your goal here is to keep your back as flat as possible or your tailbone as lifted as possible. So even if your upper back is rounded, I want you to think about that tailbone lifting up and back. So you're trying to fart on somebody behind you. 3. I know that's a weird cue, but it always works. 2, and 1. Let's hold it at the top now. Just find our breath for a moment. Then come back in to the lunge. Your right hand is going to stay on the floor. Your left hand is going to come up. And we're extending that back leg and twist to switch. Left hand down, right hand up. Back leg nice and straight. And beautiful. Bring it down. We're going to pull the back leg up this time for a true or triangle. You're going to lift your chest, balance on your thigh, flat back. Engage that left thigh and flex your knee. Focus on lifting the tailbone. Right hand to the floor, left hand goes up. Try to keep that left leg as straight as you can. And then left hand to the ankle. Take that right hand up. Beautiful. Bring it back to center. We're gonna walk our right leg back, so we're back into our lunge. We're gonna turn to center for a moment. Coming into our side lunge now, so the left knee is still bent, right leg is straight. You're gonna activate that right thigh, squeeze the side of your left glute here, pushing that knee open, and you're gonna take your hands to fingertips or palms together. Your elbows are free, and you're pushing your hands actively together for 5, 4, 3, 2, and hands down. We're gonna walk it back into our lunge, and then back into that side lunge. Into lunge, into side lunge. So back into our dynamic movement here, last 2. And in, hands are walking around with you, last 1. And in, now back to lunge. Now, turn to side lunge, and then you're gonna flex the foot, sink deep into that left heel, pushing the knee open. Push back through that left foot, turn back, hello burn. Turn back center, flex the foot, sink down with control. Push up into your toes and hands and turn back. 3 more, flex, sink down, lift the chest. Exhale, press. 2 more. Bring it down, my thigh is on fire. Square it off. Last one, twist and center. And now we're going to bring it back into our twist or our side lunge all the way down. Flex that foot, find a little breath here. And if you can, you're gonna open the chest, and if it's accessible, palms rotate up and bind your hands together around your back, around your leg. Your left leg's on fire. I know, mine's too. Let's gently bring it up. And we'll bend the knees, tuck the hips, roll it up for a moment. Find your balance on your right foot so you can stretch the quad of your left leg. So grab that foot and just breathe. I'm on fire. Are you guys on fire? My left leg is like, what? Excellent. I'm gonna grab a sip of water before we do the other side, so if you would like to, please do. And then we're gonna quickly hop into the other side. I'm also gonna undress a little bit. All right. Hello, left leg. We gotta make it even now. So we're gonna take our legs wide, we're gonna slide it forward. And then we're gonna walk our hands over towards that right foot, turning on our toes, come into our lunge. Finding that front foot directly over the ankle. Sorry, the front foot directly under the knee. You know, foot and ankle are connected, so you could try to do what I say, but you're already doing it. You're gonna take your right hand up to the ceiling, squeeze the shoulder blades, back leg nice and straight. And bring the right hand down, and let's take the left hand up. Try to keep your back leg straight and the heel off the floor, so your back leg is still pointing down at the floor rather than turning out. We're gonna bring it down. Now we're gonna take the hands on either side of the foot. We're gonna hinge back, flex the foot, bring it forward, and find your lunge. Hinge back, flex the foot, and forward into that lunge. Back flex, back is nice and flat or as flat as you can make it, so maybe you need to be on your fingertips. If you have blocks nearby, that's awesome, you can use them. Otherwise, just do your best and breathe. Last one, let's hold it at the top. Flexing that foot. Bring it back into our lunge, right knee bends, and then we're gonna pull the back leg up, so we're in a more true triangle. Lifting your chest, balance your hands on the thigh or on your shin. Focus on your shoulders staying down and back away from your ears. Flex the thigh on your front leg. Breathing. We're going to take our left hand to the floor, right hand up. Bring the right hand to the ankle, and let's take our left hand up. Squeezing those shoulder blades. From here, bringing it down, bring that back leg back into your lunge. Now we're going to turn to face in to our side lunge. You're going to squeeze the left thigh, the side of the right butt cheek to make sure that knee is pushing out. Hands either fingertips or palms together. Elbows are loose, they're not on your knees. We're squeezing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're going to walk it back into our lunge and then twist back into side lunge, keeping the hips high for these 5. And twisting at your own pace. 4 and 3. Your knee and hip are staying in alignment still. 2, push through the side of the right glute. Last one like this. Now you're centering in that lunge, and now we're going to twist back to side lunge. Flex the left foot, sink into the right heel so your bum is sinking back. Press forward and up, twist, turn, lunge. Flex the left foot as you sink down. Bring it up and twist. We have 3 more. Bring it down, flex the foot, lift the chest. You always can bring your palms up for a quick second. If you feel comfortable and very flexible, we have the last one now. We're just going to sink down into the right heel, flex your left foot. Breathe. Let's open our chest. Palms rotate up if it's accessible, and binding your hands as much as you can. We're going to sit down on our bum. And we're going to release that leg. Oh, we have to stretch that quad. We can do that down here. From down here, you're going to pull your right toe into your bum as much as you can. And you're just going to sit back. The more you lay back, the more you're going to feel it. You can go to your elbows or all the way to your back. Whatever is comfortable for you, just make sure you're not feeling any pain or sharp pain in your lower back or in your knees. And breathing, we're going to gently release. And we'll come to straight legs in a straddle. I'm going to come onto the mat for this. So feet can flex or toes can point, whatever feels good for you. Just make sure you're squeezing your thighs and the glutes here as much as you can. We're going to take the arms up, elbows back, hands by your ears, and you're going to also squeeze your shoulder blades and your core to help you sit up tall. So I want your posture to be nice and flat for this. Inhale, and on the exhale, side crunch, tapping the floor right next to your thigh with the elbow. Up, inhale, exhale, other side. Inhale, exhale, crunch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Now I want your elbows to be so open that you cannot see them in your periph. So your elbows are invisible to your peripheral vision. You cannot see them. We are squeezing the obliques here. but also engaging the back muscles to help us keep that flat back. 2 more per side. Last one each side. And find your way to balanced and up. Good. We're gonna reach up with both arms, inhale. We're gonna twist towards the left leg, and then we're gonna fold over. Okay, so I want you to focus on keeping your right sit bone on the floor. Now you're gonna take your palms on the ground next to your foot, wherever they can be, and you're gonna start pulling through your hands, and almost as though you're pulling your hands this way. You may not move, but I want you to do that action, so that way your chest lifts and your back flattens a little. It'll push your belly button towards your thigh, get you into a more pure, quote unquote, stretch, because you're in more of a, we'll call it better posture. And we're gonna bring it up, take your left arm, which is your inside arm, in front, and you wanna think of reaching it towards your right foot as your left arm reaches towards, your right arm reaches towards your left foot. Okay, so each arm is reaching towards the opposite foot. I want you to think of this top arm being slightly bent, and the shoulder and elbow are pulling back and open. And then reaching from there. Exhale, and also think of that side crunch that we were just doing. Small sips of air. So obviously there's not a lot of space here. Okay, beautiful. Let's bring it up. Oh, sweet Jesus. Bring it up, inhale. Lift the torso, exhale, twist, fold. Hands by the foot, and then you're gonna pull on those hands and elbows immediately, pulling the elbows towards you, not actually moving the hands, lifting the chest, and making sure that left sit bone and hips stay on the ground. Shoulder blades squeezing together. If you need to come up higher to get more of your belly button down to your thigh, that's fine, come up a little higher. It's not about getting low, it's more so about finding that posture that will get you deepest into your stretch, we'll call it. We're gonna come up, take the right arm, reach it towards the left, crunch, and then reach the left arm towards the right. Pull the left elbow back over your ear, and then extend it through the shoulder. Arm is as straight as you can make it without full extension. A little micro bend, right? Keeping everything safe. Try to pull this shoulder forward and up. Good, we're gonna do it again. Inhale, tuck the left, reach it towards the right, and reach the right towards the left. Okay, now I want you to really push into this bottom elbow to try to push this shoulder forward to help you open up the chest and spine as well. Keep that right sit bone down on the floor. Last one, reach, inhale, exhale, right arm to the left and left arm overhead. Opening the chest, squeezing the shoulders, crunching through that right side. All the things happening. Breathing, and gently rise up. From here, you're gonna come forward into your pancake. I'm just gonna shift to the side so I don't face butt my pole. You're gonna start with your hands behind your back, because I want you to focus on flat back, tailbone lifted. And when your hands are behind your back, normally your tailbone is lifted, your back is flat. We're gonna squeeze our thighs and our glutes, and we're gonna come forward. Feet can point or flex, it's up to you. But you're gonna come forward, squeezing those thighs to resist the fact that your body wants to flop forward, shoulders still back. Now, if you want to stay here, this is a great challenge. It's going to create strength as well as flexibility. So it's very rare that you will go too far in this pose because you are squeezing at the same time. It's very hard to pull a muscle when you're doing an active stretch like that. You can also bring your hands forward. I want you to make sure you're not rounding your back though. So if you look at me in the mirror, my back rounded a bit, I want you to lift that tailbone continuously. So think of what it felt like back here, and then just have the hands as like little kickstands. So that way as you come forward, you have just a bit of support for your torso, your bend in your elbows, so that way you're still looking up the whole time. The minute you start looking down, everything starts to round. And then we're gonna slowly inch our way back. And we're going to slowly bring it in. I'm stuck. And bring your knees, toes together, pardon me. And we're gonna just windshield wiper it side to side. Good. And then from here, we will come on up to our tabletop. We'll do a quick downward dog, and we'll get on the poles. Shoulders down away from the ears, pressing those heels down. You're pressing your palms actively into the floor and lifting that tailbone. Finding that place where you can squeeze the shoulder blades and keep your ears between your biceps, pressing your face forward towards your feet. And then we'll take the right leg up, tap it down. Take the left leg up, tap it down. Take the right leg up, tap it down. Take left, tap it down, keep going. Right. You're squeezing your glute here to lift that leg up. Keep it nice and straight. Bring your ankle and toe to a point immediately, and then flex it again, place it back down. Do one more each side, make yourself balanced. Beautiful. From here, you're gonna bend your knees in that downward dog. You're gonna gather power through those legs, and you're going to press through the floor and try to kick yourself in the butt with your feet until you can perhaps get to a place where you get a little float at the top. Okay, notice how I'm landing softly in my feet and my knees absorbing through. Ooh, don't get up too fast. Do maybe 7 or 8, and then we'll come down. We'll do one other variation, okay? From here, you're gonna work a straight leg pop, because we're gonna work a straight leg pop to hook ourselves into a move. That's gonna get us on the pole, sound exciting? Pardon me. So, you can do this against the wall if you want, or I like to do this with my pole near me. You're gonna see my leg smack the pole, so it stops me from going over, okay? And that's actually gonna be where the pole will be positioned in our combo, so it's kind of perfect. So hands, if you're practicing near a pole, I have like a hand's distance between my hands. Okay, you're gonna bend your knees, and as you tuck through, you can either stay on your knees and have your toes tucked under, or be on your feet. You're gonna try to open your legs nice and wide. Okay, so notice how if I were to push too hard, where's my pole? If I were to push too hard, the pole will eventually find my knee. Okay, and that's okay, because that's where we want it to be in our combo. Okay, so try a couple of those for me. And I would say use the pole because that's what you're going to be doing, so it kills two birds with one stone. Actually, tilt your screen down a bit for me so I get a bit more of you and less ceiling. You are the best. Thank you, my love. Okay, so we're working on pops. If you can hook the back of the inside knee, fabulous. If not, that's cool. We're not there yet, that's all right. Nice, Ashley. Gather more from your legs, so bend deeper to pop more. Yeah, even more. Squat even lower, yeah. Yeah, see how much you almost got there? It was really great. Beautiful. Now try to think of slapping your legs really wide open, like hoya. That's gonna get you the rest of the way up. The legs doing that motion. Cool. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, amazing. Okay, Eileen, let me see a few. Gorgeous.
Can I do it with one hand on the pole?
Like holding with one?
Yeah, like.
Normally I would say yes, but for the combo I need both hands on the ground. So today I'm gonna say keep it with both. It's a good question, and normally I would say, yeah, we're gonna do that another time, I promise. But for today I need two hands, popping through those legs, pushing through the hands to try to get up, okay? If we are ready as well, Ashley, you're gonna move on and just continue working this pop a little bit longer. If it's feeling all right, we're gonna just try to progress it to the next stage before we take a break from it, and we will come back. Okay, so as you're popping, right, you're gonna try to now hook the back of that inside knee. And if you need to come into more of a swing kick, that's cool too. But our inside knee is gonna try to hook, and we're gonna try to come into a little body wave with the outside leg. Okay. So if we want to use the lever kick, that's cool. Eventually I want us to try using that straddle pop. Now I'm gonna observe a little bit. Okay, remember Ellie, as long as you keep your legs wide, you're not gonna go over that pole, I promise you. Because your knee will catch you. So think of this like a brass monkey hook, because that's what it is. Okay, so you're bending deep into those knees. Think of this as like a downward dog and squatting into the downward dog to pop through those legs. Nice. Nice. So it will be the inside leg hooking. Do you want to see it from the leg kick again, Ellie? Yeah? Okay. So if you're going to do it from the leg kick, I suggest that the outside leg is the bent leg and the inside leg is the straight leg. Okay, so when I'm next to the pole, outside leg is bent and inside leg is straight. I'm going to start still with my hands. Okay, really we're going to be starting here. So we'll start with our hands on the floor next to the pole. You'll come into this little, we'll call it squat. I need more mat. You'll come into this little squat and then you'll step your inside leg back. So I'm in this, we'll call it bear. Like if you do workouts, this is bear. So I'm hovering over my knees. I'll take my right foot back, or my inside foot, pardon me. And then as I kick it up, I'm gonna show you from this angle. As I kick up, I need to make sure I'm not kicking up in this straight plane. I need to kick up and out to make sure that I always catch the pole. Okay, so I'm gonna take off my socks so I have a little bit of leverage. Just make sure we can see. Okay, so from here, I step back with my inside leg, and as I kick it up, I want to think out to make sure I catch the pole with that inside knee. Make sense? Again, using so much power from the legs so the arms don't have to do as much work. The more we swing, the less we have to beast mode.
How far are you in front of the pole with your hands? I'm seeming to catch it right here. So I feel like maybe my placement's not proper. Yeah.
Have your hands right next to the pole.
Like right in the same, okay.
Yeah, right in line with the pole, correct.
Okay.
Right in line, or potentially slightly behind, so your fingertips are in alignment with it, is the best place. Because yeah.
Okay.
And then if you're also catching very close up the leg, you could be too close to the pole this way. So maybe put a little bit of distance, like at least a little hand or fist distance between the first hand that's on the ground.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Remember, bend into those knees to gather strength. So Ellie, your butt's still too high. Get lower into that squat. Yeah, bend your front leg. Yeah. Now step back with the other leg. Yeah. So you saw how much power we have there. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. Kick out. Okay, only one leg at a time. So think swing and then the other leg comes up with it. So that one you try to bring both up at the same time. Okay, so swing inside and then bring the outside leg up second. Okay, keep looking down at your hands. Good. Beautiful. Use the swing if you need. Okay, let's take a minute. Let's roll out the wrists. I know it's a lot on the hands. Breathing. Okay. Okay, let's move on for a bit. We'll revisit this in a hot second. Okay, we'll do a little bit of the combo that I'm intending to mash it with, and then we will revisit it when we get back to that place. Feel good? So if your pole needs wiping, give it a little wipe. Give your wrists a little roll out. Give them a moment to just breathe, and we will come back to it. So first thing we're gonna play with is a little spin. That will get us to the ground. It's kind of like a reverse grab, kind of like a flare spin, kind of like a reverse grab. It's just a different way of getting into it, right? Because sometimes you can gather a lot of centrifugal force and go like very far away from the pole. And on this one, we're gathering more of like a lateral force. So we're using more of a pendulum swing than a circle, we're gonna call it, okay? I'm gonna walk it through once without talking about it. Like I'll show you what it looks like and then I'll walk it through slowly. So that way it makes sense when I'm talking it through slowly. Just putting a bit of grip on, because this one is, there's a moment where you can have one hand, just one hand on the pole, but for the most part, you can keep both hands and do the transition once your body has already passed in front, rather than your hand coming off when your body's out here, because that can be scary. So we're gonna start with, I'm gonna start it back here. Okay, so we're gonna start with a little dip motion. Inside hand up, inside foot grounding, outside leg circles around. Then as I step with that outside leg, my inside leg, which was dragging behind, is gonna swing back. Okay, and that's the lateral back part of my pendulum. Okay, and then I'm going to pull through my arms to come forward. And then as I do that, I'm gonna tuck, release, and come around. Okay, so notice how there was a moment where I had to let go to reach behind. And that isn't necessarily necessary because, for example, if you need to keep, on my other side, I'm not so confident, on this side, I tend to have to keep my outside hand across the chest for the entire spin, otherwise I feel like I'm going to fly off the pole. So as I come forward, it's a little uglier, but it's a good start, okay? It keeps a little bit more bicep on the pole, there's a little bit more skinning, but it's a place where you can begin to feel comfortable launching yourself forward and preparing the shoulder over time, because we can't just be like, hey, here's 140 pounds, this way, when it's not used to that. So feel free to keep that hand, just keep it high, because the goal is to let the hips come in front of the pole. So keep your hand like in your armpit, that way you can have the hips come forward. Otherwise it will be in the way. So as you're setting up the spin or doing the dip, have the hand come up as you reach back so that you can tuck and come forward from there. Okay, so again, fast one more time. I step in, sweep back. Oh yeah, what? I didn't even catch the pole with my back hand that time. I just smashed into it, okay? And that happens too, and that's okay. But notice how it's about also jumping off the leg too. So the more confident you get as you come back to this point, you'll be, notice how I jumped back to jump forward? That I don't do on my non-dominant side because it's sketchy. I will get there eventually, and so will you, right? Okay, when you're ready, try it out. Yeah, and then forward, yeah. So think of the inside arm extending nice and high once you set it up again. Yeah, and then swing, yeah. You got it. Okay, think less float, less of a spin, more of a step. Yeah, so that way it's just like generating a little bit of speed. Yeah, yeah, beautiful. You got it, Ellie. I know, it feels like you're crashing into it at first. Beautiful, Ashley, but that's normal. It will get there. You got it, guys. Just keep playing with it. And as you get more comfortable with the sensation, it will get bigger and bigger. And it also depends how sticky your hand is feeling, how grippy your grip is, how strong you're feeling today. If your hand or elbow or shoulder are at all feeling weak, this feels terrible. So listen to your body if you're not feeling 100%. Use that outside hand, or just work the individual steps, right? As you're, pardon me as I walk into my pole, as you're coming into your dip, right? Come into the step back, and then you can focus on more of perhaps just coming into a little chair spin of sorts. Doesn't have to be anything drastic, right? Just something to get you flow it into the shape. That's me doing a pendulum. Nice, Ashley. And as we get more confident, our tuck and our straddle forward will get bigger and bigger, right? That just gets bigger. Also, as we get more into that, like, we'll call it extremity of the centrifugal force zone, right? Like the farther your hips get away, the easier it is to tuck them, because you're like, oh, I'm practically laying down at this point, right? So the closer you are to the pole, harder it will be to get there, but it will get there. Let's try a couple on the other side if we have not yet. I know Ashley's been going back and forth. Yeah, great job. Now we are going to take this spin to the floor because we're leading it into our handstand. But practice it one more time. I'm going to wait for Ellie to come back before I give that instruction. There she is. Yeah, that was gorgeous. Great job, my love. All right, so we're going to take this to the ground. So now as we're in our little stag, the reverse grab part of the spin, we're just going to use our toes to tumble over to our knees. So make sure you're just landing nice and soft, and you're still using your arms as you tumble over, because we're not using knee pads, and that shit sucks. So just be careful of that. Okay, so I'll show you through as we come through. You're coming into your stag. Your toes will land. You're going to turn out to the other side, and then we're just going to come knees together. Okay, you can either do some little hip circles or little body waves, but this will put you directly into place to now come into body waves eventually. Okay, right? If you're working perhaps the kick up, I'm thinking of the next move. Sorry, I'm like, hey, you can probably stick your hand up there for this couple rounds if you want to, Ellie, if you feels more comfortable that way. Go to town, and then I can always see if it works for the next part, or maybe you can bring your hand down and do the next part. Probably. Let's try it. Okay, so I'm gonna do it with my hand up for you. So we're gonna land. So for yourself, you'll twist the grip, still step back, inside leg, so that you can come up, and you're gripping right above your hand, and then your hand is gonna turn into a cup grip where you're more pinching than grabbing fully around the pole, because your leg is in the way now. Cool? Okay, cool. Let's see it. With the spin, landing, toes, turn out, knees, something adorable before you put your hands down, and attempt to kick up and perhaps grab with our inside knee. Oh, yes. And then fall to, keep going. Then basically you tumble to your knees from there, Ellie. It's just because you're very high. So you would just descend during your twist to the floor, and then turn in to face the pole. Beautiful, you got it. Setting up however feels comfy. Nice. We're both loving this grip. I'm okay with that. Gorgeous, love. Now try waving with your leg, outside leg, Ashley. I know. Yes, gorgeous. Nice, Ellie. Try a couple of times. I'm gonna let you guys play with it. Okay. Oh yeah. When you look at twisted grip, it doesn't look as extremely uncomfortable as it feels when you're in it. I'm like, are you guys in the right grip? Ellie, try to squeeze your shoulder blades together and think of your boobs coming out like this. Like, I want you to think of really focusing on this when you're in that handstand, because you're very rounded in your upper back, which is gonna make it harder for your shoulders to take all that weight. Okay, inside leg takes a big step back. Bend that outside leg as you swing and kick. Good. Okay, great start. Beautiful start, my love. You got up there, it's gonna get better every time. Play around with it, and it's gonna get there. Dude, when I was doing this, I did this last night, and I was having the hardest time, and I was so discouraged, so don't worry, you're gonna get there. We all have days where sometimes the body's like, this trick is scary today, I don't wanna do it. but that's okay. You're still doing parts of it and you're still getting stronger. So let's just make sure we're practicing our spin and our dismount down to the handstand, whether we're mounting the pole or just practicing your pops, practicing your mounting, just working on getting comfortable kicking up as much as you can. Beautiful. Then land on your toe. So Ellie, look at me. Let me show you what you're doing versus what I want. So you're in your stag like this, and then you're doing that, right? Okay, so when you land in that stag, I want you to land more on your toes, and you're landing very high too, which is great. Now I want you to turn your toes out to the other direction, and then fall to the pole there. Just so it gives you a little bit more time to also determine where you need to be for the combo if there was something specific you were aligning for, we'll call it. Cool. Ooh, apparently I have a bruise on my foot. Play around with it a little bit longer, and then we're gonna move on. So land and think of turning it out and falling to the other knee. Precisely, exactly, yeah. It's like, I like to think of it like the pages of a book, right? I'm like, open the book, close the book. And then fall over, bring it. Beautiful, awesome, okay? I like the hand butt wipe, Ashley, it was so sexy. I love you. Beautiful, lovely. Alrighty, let's try maybe one more. And then we're gonna move along. Just gonna check my list. Gorgeous. Yeah, and then from there, yeah, so if you come up from it, you turned out the way you were supposed to, which was great. That doesn't matter. Alrighty, so have we done somewhat of an equal amount on both sides? Shall we do one extra one on the non-dominant side? Let's do one extra one. I'm gonna do it with you, I promise. Okay, so, or just do an extra one on whatever side you're still working on, that's cool too. But let's focus on one last one on dominant if that feels okay. Ooh, that feels scary. All right, breathing deeply. So there was a little twirl out I intended with this, but today we will shelf it. We'll bring it back next time because I know we can get there. But for today, if you're thinking of, how could I end this combo? You don't necessarily have to do one if you're feeling gassed and you don't want to do another handstand. I'm just going to show you so that way it's in the recording so that if you happen to want to practice it later on, you have it for yourself. I'm just gonna fix this a smidge. So right now, you guys are coming up with your inside hand, which is perfectly fine. So let's say we landed our spin, we're da-da-da-da-da. We'll come in. Okay, remember, step that inside leg back first and then tuck your knee. So that way you're pretty deep in your lunge, right? If we do this first, we have a tendency of not coming down very low. So that way you can gather as much power as you can. We're gonna come up, find the pole, do a few waves, pulling and pushing through the hand. This is harder with the hand on the pole. Yes, hook the leg behind. Make sure you have a good hook. Come up. The straight leg will be the front leg in a new split. So you're gonna slide into a little split, demi or true. So that could be a way for you to utilize the ending of that combo. I'm feeling like I'm not gonna make you do another handstand right now though. Feel good? Again, we'll revisit the thing I actually wanted to work with you guys, but that's okay. This was great. Let's move on for a smidge water if you need it. I'm just gonna check out where I wanted to start with this combo. Pardon me. Quick wipe of your pole if you need it. Okay. We're gonna come into a little inversion combo, we'll call it. This, looking at what I did first. Sometimes I'm like, what does that mean? So we're gonna do a pirouette on our inside foot, okay? Inside hand is gonna reach up nice and high, outside hand will pour out the wine. You're tucking your outside knee in, re-gripping your top hand, so now you're in a regular baseball grip, okay? But I'm up there, and I'm gonna sweep across, sweep out, and I'm going to do a dip, 1.5, okay? You're gonna come into one wave with that front leg, and then it will sweep you over to the other side, to step, and we're gonna work on our step up. First. Okay, I know you can't see the top half of my screen, but I'll go through that one more time. First, let's just talk about the steps to get to the step up, and then we'll talk about the step up, because there's a little bit of choreography. Really, it's just to have purpose. So we're gonna start with, let's have our right hand up, because I'm assuming everybody loves it already. So right hand up, so I can talk rights and lefts. We are on, or inside hand up. You're on your inside foot, outside leg is tucked. You're gonna pour out the wine. As you turn into the pole, watch your knee, re-grip your top hand. Now lean away with that outside leg and dip 1.5 around. So now your right leg should be ideally your front leg. Okay, wherever you will also land is fine, because the next move is exactly what you guys just kind of did with that right leg. You'll sweep it back a bit to get you into position. So now your right leg is your back leg. So actually now sweep it back to the other side. No, so is your right leg up right now though? So okay, let's go from the beginning again. Rewind, it's okay, it's cool. We're gonna get confused because I'm talking rights and lefts. So left knee up, left, yes. Pouring out our wine. So keep the left knee up the whole time. Okay, now before you start, I want your left foot to finish your spin on that side of the pole. Think of it that way. Think of landing over here. So you're doing 1.5 turns, land on your left. So you should look over your right shoulder at me. So actually you should land on the other side of the pole. Yeah, so now your right leg is sweeping forward. Perfect. Now we're gonna sweep, the right hand will be up, and we're gonna sweep our right leg behind us to now land left leg forward. So that we can tuck, step right, and we will then work on our step up from there, okay? So if you're super close to the pole, it's gonna be super hard to get that leg up there. So the sweeping motion that we did, it's not really a back hook or an attitude, it's a back turn, back spin, right? As we come back, make sure you're landing a little farther from the pole with that bottom leg, so that there's space for you to press into that pole with your inside leg. So let's just review those steps one more time on the same side. Let's do the same side. Right hand, left knee up, pour out your wine, engage that right leg nice and active, re-grip right, reach across. Now remember, you're landing on the other side, so it's a big turn and a half. Right leg waves. Also though, if you land in the wrong spot, that's okay, because you have this spin to get you back into the position. This is the position that matters most for me. Left leg in front, right leg waving. Coolio? So for example, if I were to land my first spin, my dip, say I landed it over here, and I was like, well fuck, I'm already in the right place. Then I guess you're fine. But say I landed it like here, and I was like, oh, then you would just do a little hoppity hop rather than a whole turn. Or if you landed it over here and you're like, well, this is really not where I'm meant to be, it would be even bigger, right? So you can always play with, have a forearm grip on that hand if you want, bottom hand. I have more of a forearm on my bottom as I'm sweeping to give me that extra stability. So it's kind of like you're in that climb position. Yeah. Cool, so that will be that's the back spin to control your landing. That said, let's talk about our step up. We've all done step ups, yeah? Yeah? Okay, cool, just making sure. Still gonna talk about it a little bit. When you're setting up, remember, make sure your bottom leg is not too close to the pole. It's more so in the place where it's underneath of your hip when you press your inside or your other foot, hip height into the pole, right? We want to focus on pushing forward as we're coming up into our step up. Now I'm just moving this up so you can see things. Okay, and I also want to try to focus on holding the inversion before we hook the knee on the pole. Okay, so what I mean by that, I will show you obviously. So So we come around, we're waiting. We come around, we tuck in. Now whatever foot is on the pole, that hand has to be on the bottom. So after this spin, that left hand will have to come, or the opposite hand will probably have to come up. As I push into my foot, I need to roll my shoulders down, pull through my arms, and I'm going to tuck and extend that leg up and try to look under my arm. Okay, and then I will hook the knee from there. Okay, first move you can try. Keep your inside hand on the pole, the straight arm. Outside or top hand will wiggle out from your knee and come and grab the outside of your bottom leg. And you're trying to pull your head through the hole. Okay, then you will reach up and you will come into a little martini bullet. Okay, and we can just dismount from there for now because I know that's a lot of steps. Even for me, I've forgotten the first one. Step up. Ellie remembered. So, when you're setting up your step up, just make sure you're placing your foot in line with your hip. And so your knee is very high, and then you probably have to come up onto the toe to reach up high enough because now your knee is literally in your throat, right? So think of that as well. Beautiful, Ellie. Love it. So outside hand will reach. Yes, my love. Gorgeous. Nice, Ellie. Awesome. You got it, Ashley. Up and through. Beautiful. Great job. Awesome, awesome. Coming down. Little bullet sit. So I'm doing an elbow around that inside knee as well to give my hands a break because this next move that I'm going to develop, this, I think this is some kind of unicorn. I think that's inverted unicorn. Someone, yeah? So we're going to progress it into Twisted Sister, which is all hands, okay? So now if you want, after come out of it, when you're dismounting, once you hook this elbow and grab the outside knee. That way you can let go of both hands and be like, oh my life. I know, I'm such a D. Otherwise it looks beautiful. Let's try it again when you guys are ready. Make sure, let's try at least one on the other side. Can we try that? I would love you guys, you're the best. Shoulders down, pulling through those elbows and arms. Gorgeous, nice straight legs. Beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, my loves. Beautiful, I love it. Awesome. Okay, so bring the knee up, connect the knees, and then inside elbow wraps and grabs the front knee. Yeah, so then you can be like, hey, or you can wipe the sweat off your hand. I love it, Ashley. I love it. It's a beautiful time. Amazing, beautiful hold, Ellie. Awesome. Beautiful rest place, right? That's also a nice place you can put on spin, like on as a rest place on spin, because and it goes really fast because you get real tight. Well, that's a nice little place. So we're gonna progress to our Twisted Sister, which is a fake split, as is most of our pole stuff, so don't panic. I have to get into it the scary way, because my ceiling is not tall enough for me to do it the non-scary way, okay? I mean the scary versus the non-scary way because when you have more height, you can like scissor the legs apart kind of thing. I have to like pull my knee away from the pole to get it away because my ceiling is physically in the way. So I'm gonna show it from two different heights because one height's gonna look slightly different than the other. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of grip. Have either of us done Twisted Sister before though? May I ask? No? No? Ashley's like, I have no fucking idea. I love you. Perfect, but Ellie, not as well. Actually, I'm gonna say you probably haven't done it because I cannot say that I've done it at Aerial 52, but I also, like, it wasn't really something that those loves were doing, but hey, if you've done it, tell me. I mean, you take classes from all sorts of people too, so who the fuck knows? Who am I to know what you've done? So, all the heights. So from your step up mount, there's a difference, a change with regards to your bottom hand placement. Inverted unicorn versus Twisted Sister, right? Your foot is on the pole for unicorn, whereas I need your foot off the pole for unicorn so you can grab the pole instead for Twisted Sister. So twisted sister, for this next one we're doing, we're gonna hold the pole instead of your ankle. So you kind of have to shimmy your ankle out of the way. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like first. Trying to figure out the placement. Well, you guys will see it best. Okay, so as we come up, okay, I'm gonna push into my bottom elbow. Can you see my bottom foot? Okay, I'm gonna push into my bottom elbow to push the pole to my ankle. Can we see my ankle? Yes? Fabulous. Then my inside hand is gonna grip all sorts, and then I'm gonna pull down inside hand as I reach behind my leg to the pole. So I'm gripping the pole in a cup grip. Then I will take the leg off and extend it out. Okay, then I can pull it in to bring it back. Rehook, pull up, come into our little bullet to dismount. Was that good visually? Cool, amazing. So you guys were both able to reach the foot for unicorn, so theoretically you should be able to reach the pole for this stretch as well. There's way more pressure in your hand as you start extending into that twisted sister. So fucking throw those crash mats down. Do we want to see it one more time before you go up? I see Ashley waiting and not moving. I'm happy to do it. Placement, cool. I'm gonna do it again the same way. From over here. Ooh, not that leg. I've never done that side. I'll do that side later. Okay, so we come up, push into your elbow to move the pole from your foot to like right behind your ankle or mid-calf. Slide down or drop the chest down first if that feels more comfortable. Release the top hand, grab around the pole, cup grip. Then as you stick your head through your elbow, you can start releasing. Actually, I wouldn't stick your head through the elbow first. First start releasing the leg, extend it back, and then stick the head through the elbow, and then pull it back. Obviously, you don't have to stick your head through the elbow until you feel more comfortable in that extension, because that's where it starts to feel sketch balls. Okay, because this almost feels like, like it's like a teeter-totter backward. So don't extend too far back to start. Yes, I love that we have crash mats. This makes me so happy. And feel free to do this lower so that if you do fall out, what will happen is you'll basically cartwheel to the floor. Your bottom hand will release and you'll end up on your feet because the way that your body is going, right? Your one leg is here, one leg is here. This one's pushing out. So what will happen is this, foot, foot, foot. Just don't let go with the top hand if that happens, and you will survive. Cool? Top hand never releases if we fall. And it'll be good. But we're not gonna fall because we're amazing. We're just gonna go slow. Okay, focus on going slow for this move too, because it feels like you're about to teeter back. The slower you go, the more control. Yeah. Good. Gripping firmly. You want to reach to the outside of your leg. Yeah, around to the pole. Yeah. Okay. So at first it feels like, oh my gosh, this is so far away. So you can always move the pole higher up your leg. So like ankle placement, probably hardest because the pole's farther away. The more you get like up the calf, you'll have less distance to go. So you can always move it a little bit higher up to your calf or mid-calf, we'll call it. Amazing, yeah, cool. Reach up higher with your inside hand right now. So before you go down, reach up higher. Yeah, that way it's got a better grip. Fantastic, now let's go. Pull down, shoulders down, stick your boobies out so shoulders are engaged, and try to move your legs so you can find the pole, cup her. Beautiful. And now open your elbow. Beautiful. That's how you start, is you start getting comfortable being in like that extreme crunch. That's why we did so many crunches and side bendy things on the floor, because this move is rude. But it's also, there's a little fear factor because you're twisted, your one hand is doing the things. It will get there for sure. You're so close now. Awesome, Ashley. Yeah. Reach up high with your inside hand. Yeah, beautiful. Reach behind, cup the pole. Yeah, so just wiggle that leg out of the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love this. Beautiful. Yes, there you go. That's where it starts. Now you start opening that elbow so your face can peek through the hole. Okay, now eventually you'll pull the top knee towards your chin, like towards the face a bit, so that you can start feeling like, oh, okay, like releasing some of that top leg. then eventually you would take it off entirely, but there's no need to fully commit, right? Beautiful, my love. How'd that feel? That feel good? That looked really good. So it's just, it feels sketchy at first. I remember when I first did this move, I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And now, guys, it's one of my favorite moves. I love it. I love it. And it's just about, like most things, when it's scary, you just have to teach your nervous system that you're not about to kill yourself. So just repeating it, like the handstands, just repeating it. Everybody's scared at first, but they will get better. So let's try maybe on the other side, perhaps. Or you can try again on your dominant side, but just promise me you'll try something on the other side later. Okay, you can also put the whole combo together, right? So remember we were doing some spins or some a little spinny spin at the beginning. So to remind us, we're doing a pirouette on our inside foot. We do a dip, okay, to a sweep. Ideally for this combo, for the Twisted Sister to look pretty, you want to mount with your back leg as your step up mount. So if you land your first spin and you're like, oh, but my back leg's already sweeping, then you're fabulous. You're already in the place. You might have to hop a bit away from your pole to mount, and that's fine. Pull down, toes, sliding in. Whoopsie, not forgetting to do that. Ideally, don't reach above. Okay, so once you get to here and you start getting to here, next stage is starting to release this top leg. Starting to be like, okay, there's less weight in this leg. Okay, and you can again come up. And then from here, we'll come down and do a little hair toss if you want to add a little flair to the end of your combo. But remember, if you're feeling tired, you can always go back to inverted unicorn. So it will only help you get more comfortable in this position because it's like a little baby sister, right? So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes and then we'll pull down. Awesome. Pardon me. I really should try my other side before I cool down. I promise I will. Nice. Gorgeous. Yeah. Awesome. So rather than crossing the knee over the other knee, just have them side by side, Ellie. That way, yeah, and then you can hug and hold the outside knee with the inside hand. So bring the knees together, right? Yeah. Because when it's over top, it's almost like pushing the first leg down, right? It looks cute, but I can see that it's almost fighting you a little bit. Great job. How you doing, Ashley?
I kind of, my foot slipped when I did the step up. I've never done it before, and I fell, but I caught my knee. Mm-hmm. But the problem was, I didn't fall to the floor. I jammed my wrist, and then I jarred everything up here. So I think maybe I'm good for today, but
that's okay. I'm glad it didn't do anything, worse. But I'm sorry to hear that.
Happens.
It does. It does. I'm glad you at least have the mat there to hopefully support you a little bit. Not really.
I just gripped the pole with my knee.
With your knee.
Yeah, because it fell out, but then my knee was already there, so that I wrapped around. But the problem was is then I crunched to get my knee, I think.
I got you. Yeah, just take it easy.
Fell to the floor with a mat. That would have been so easier.
It would have probably felt a little better, probably. But that's okay. I'm just glad you're not worse injured or. And
Absolutely.
Then now wrap your inside elbow around the pole, Ellie. So it grabs. You're still using all those arms. Inside elbow. You're wrapping the outside elbow, the other elbow. Obviously, Ashley, yeah. Obviously, just relax, cool down. Let me know how she feels tomorrow. But yeah, you need both elbows. You're not wrapping the incorrect elbow, Ellie. I just need the inside one first. So once you get to here, okay, and you pull up to this place, inside elbow grabs here first, and then the outside hand. Because if I'm just grabbing here, then I'm still using both. So now grab the inside elbow down. Yeah, and that way, right? See how graceful and chill this is? This is a great rest. Beautiful, right? So it's just having that one hand on there for a hot second as you do the readjustment, but that was lovely. Okay guys, let's relax and cool down. Today was awesome, but let's come to our poles. We'll do a flat back together, stretch out our lats. I'm just gonna move this down so you can see me. So flat back, hands are by your ears, arms are by your ears, pardon me. Legs are wide, hips pushing back. We're gonna turn toward the left. So your left hand will be on top, thumb down. Right hand is thumb up on the bottom. Push with your top hand, pull with the bottom hand, and then push the hips to the right. Also push the hips backward. So you're shifting back and to the right kind of at the same time. And then we'll take the center and we'll switch. So right hand on top, thumb down. Left hand, thumb up on the bottom. Push with the top hand, pull with the bottom hand. Push the hips to the left and push them back. Gently come to center. We're going to release the hands, drop the head, grab the ankles. Shake the head like you're saying no. Nod yes. Neutral spine. Reach to the right. And reach to the left. Come to center. Bend the knees, slowly roll it up. Amazing. Just do a little trap stretch here. So let's drop our left ear to the left. Hey, here we are. Drop the left ear to the left. Left hand up, right hand presses down. Shoulders down away from the ears. And gently to the other side. Ooh. Shoulders down away from the ears. Gorgeous. Tuck it, then hold chin now. Interlace your hands behind your head and push your head into your hands. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 4, 2, and release. Good. Roll up those wrists a few times. Let's bring the right arm across the chest. Imagine holding a bowl of soup in that right hand, so palm is up. And then roll that right shoulder down and find resistance in both arms. So you're pushing this arm forward as you're pulling back with this arm so that you're pushing and pulling and this shoulder is getting an activation at the same time. Oh, I feel that yawn, Ellie. Let's switch sides. So holding our bowl of soup in the extended arm, pushing forward as we're pulling back. So finding that resistance, dropping the shoulder away from the ear. Beautiful. And release. We'll do a little tricep stretch. Grab the elbow, keeping it over the shoulder. Push it out as you hold it in place, so finding that resistance. And then we're going to lean away from the arm that we're holding. Keep the chest lifted. And release and switch. So same thing. Keep the elbow over the shoulder. Find that resistance, push out as you hold it in place, and then tipping away from the arm, lifting your chest, squeezing your shoulder blades, and release. One last stretch. You're going to grab your pole, interlace your hands behind your back, take your hands up as high as you can, and just press your hips forward, arms extending, shoulders rolling back, opening the chest. Gently tuck the hips, roll it out, shake it out. Great job today, guys. How do we feel?